Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. These games have to be some of my most played Pokemon games in the series, as they are one of my favorites. And even though I've completed these games multiple times, I'll be traveling through the Unova region while using one of Marriland's great walkthroughs yet again. Similarly to the other two recent videos in this series, I will be following the guide as closely as I can. This involves taking the same route through the game, picking up all the items, and doing some other little things that Marriland does in his walkthrough. Also, if you've been enjoying this series so far, or you're new to the channel but like Pokemon content, be sure to hit that sub button, as 63% of you guys who watch these videos aren't subscribed, and of course, you can always change your mind later on down the road. Anyways, without further ado, let's beat Pokemon Black 2 the Marriland way. I began my journey by calling myself TQ, using 2 of the 7 character spaces that you get, unless you're playing the Japanese version, in which you only have 5 character spaces. I'm not really sure why that's a thing, but I hope you guys enjoyed the useless piece of information. Anyways, Marriland called the rival Hugh, so I did the same. Apparently, Bianca took Charon's glasses from the original Pokemon Black and White, and if you compare the two, there is a good case to be made. Moving on though, Marriland added a pretty neat feature to this walkthrough, which I don't think is present in any of his other guides. With every new area in the game, he gives a star rating out of 5 and a brief description about every new Pokemon. Snivy only had a rating of 2.5 stars, which was the lowest out of the 3, so I chose it and called it Cobra. I've also never used a Snivy, believe it or not, so I thought this would be a good opportunity. After barely slipping by the first rival battle, it was time to add a Purloin to the team. Here's another Pokemon that had a relatively low star rating according to Marriland, so I guess I'm just using the not so decent Pokemon in this playthrough. But hey, maybe I can show some people that Jelly the Purloin isn't so bad after all. The second rival battle was identical to the first one, as I tackled away with Cobra while hanging on with 2 hit points. Yeah, I'm not sure why Hugh didn't go for Ember at all, but I'll take it. So this place, called the Pledge Grove, has to be one of the most forgettable areas out of any Pokemon game in my opinion, because I had no clue it was here before Marriland mentioned it. Apparently it's where Keldeo can change its form, but other than that, it really has no significance. The first gym battle with Charon got off to a rough start. I thought I could whittle away at Patrat with the help of Sand Attack from Purloin, but this little rat has the Keen Eye ability. So I sent in Snivy, who managed to knock him out with a few Vine Whips, while taking a lot of damage in the process. It was then on to Lillipup, who I successfully got 5 Sand Attacks on before Jelly went down. However, Cobra was a beast once again, as he hung on with 2 HP once again in order to claim the first badge. Down in the dark grass on Route 20, I caught myself a Venipede. When it came to nicknaming it, I thought about Centipede and then Cent, so I came up with 50 Cent the Venipede. Yeah, this guy might just be the MVP of the team. Roxy, despite being the poison-type gym leader, apparently hates using poison-type moves with her coughing because I had Servine out the whole time and she only went for assurance. This resulted in an easy kill, so Whirlipede was out next. This turned into a stallfest as I lowered her accuracy a bit before having to switch into 50 Cent. I eventually got off 3 Screeches, while Whirlipede switched between Venoshock and Protect. After a while, a couple of pursuits finally did the trick. I don't think they mentioned the name of Roxy's dad at any point during the Pokestar Studios section, but he goes by Papa Roxy. Haha, I get it, he's the dad of Roxy, so he's called Pop, kind of like Papa. I actually don't know if that's the meaning of his name, but who really cares? Further on, in Castelia City, I came across the boat that leads to the Unity Tower. I've been to that little island before, but I've never known what it's for. According to Marriland, though, it's a place where you can see all the people you've traded or battled with online. Coming out of the Castelia sewers, Marriland commented on Iris by calling her Captain Obvious, as she told us to make our way towards the gym, and this genuinely gave me a good laugh. Surprisingly, Berg was the easiest gym battle up to this point. Whirlipede had no issues dealing with Swadloon and Leavanny, as Bugbite dealt a good chunk of damage to both of them. As for Dwebble, I just one-shot him with a Leaf Tornado. The Colress battle on Route 4 quickly made me realize that the Steel typing completely walls my team, since I only have a Grass, Dark, and Bug Poison type. Luckily, Colress only had a Magnemite and Clink, so I was able to brute force my way through the fight with Whirlipede. However, catching a Yamask is not going to help me counter Steel types, but I've always wanted to use a Cofagrigus, so I couldn't pass up on this opportunity. Also, I named it Facebook, because it's holding a face. Jeez, these nicknames are getting worse and worse. So I think we all know about the awkward encounter with the NPC at the Ferris wheel in Nimbasa City, but did you know that this trainer changes depending on if you're a boy or a girl, as well as what season it is? I never knew that, so we can just add it to the list. Anyways, I was a little worried going into the Elisa battle, but it turned out to be a cakewalk. Yamask got hit by a Volt Switch before burning Zebstrika, which allowed Hex to dish out a lot of damage and eventually kill him. I then went over to Liepard, who snarled at Emolga and Flaffy as they kept on using Volt Switch, but in the end, Jelly was too bulky, so we grabbed the 4th badge. There wasn't too much action between the 4th and 5th gym, so let's move on to Clay. 50 Cent had no issues one-shotting his Krokorok, and Yamask got a very important burn off on Excadrill before going down to a Metal Claw. Adding a Leech Seed on top of the burn made Servine's job very easy, as he killed Excadrill with a Leaf Blade before doing the same to Sandslash. Marriland pointed out that in the Pokemon World Tournament, Cheren is referred to as just a regular Pokemon trainer. And this is really weird because he should be called Gym Leader Cheren, right? Anyways, I decided the 5th member of my team would be a Tynamo. I know it's incredibly weak right now, but just wait until this guy becomes an Electros. Tynamo got his first chance to shine against Skyla, but before that,
Liepard and Cobra, who is now a superior, had to deal with Swoobat. I started with a Thunder Wave on Swanna, and then I healed a bunch until she got fully paralyzed. Once that happened, it was game over for the water flying type. Last out was Skarmory, who also got paralyzed, and then whittled down by Charge Beam. After exploring the strange house, which Marriland made it very clear that it was a creepy place, I had to go through Reversal Mountain all by myself because Marriland never got around to writing about the Black 2 version of the area. Honestly, this was just kinda funny though. Hugh was waiting to ambush us in Undella Town, but my squad was ready, as Tynamo dealt with Unfazant, Cofagrigus knocked out Embor, and Superior one-shot Simipour. On the very next route, I caught my 6th and final team member in Mienfoo, who I called Dojo Cat. Get it? Instead of Doja Cat, it's Dojo Cat, because it's a fighting type. Wait a second, is Mienfoo even a cat? Nope. Apparently, it's based off of something called a mustelid, and I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. Drayden definitely gave me a run for my money, as I didn't have any counters towards his dragon types. However, Facebook was able to brute force his way through Druddigon, while Scolipede only got a Toxic off on Flygon before going down. Cobra came in to clean up, and Electros and Liepard tag-teamed Haxorus. Marlin was the 8th and final gym leader, but I had plenty of Pokemon for his water types. Caracosta and Wailord couldn't handle some Leaf Blades, but Jellicent did manage to kill Electros. However, Jelly was able to come in and finish the job. Colress's Steel types weren't too much of a problem anymore. Scolipede nearly one-shot Magnezone, but unfortunately, he did go down. Liepard finished him off, so next up was Klinklang. Mienshao easily took him down, while Jelly took care of Behem. His last 2 Pokemon were Matang and a very weak Magneton, so this fight ended in my favor. So I guess I didn't know how good Black Kyurem's attack stat is, and how good White Kyurem's special attack is, as they are both second to Deoxys. Of course, this fact could be outdated, but it still impressed me. Anyways, time for Getsis. The battle started off great, with a critical Night Slash on Cofagrigus, and 50 Cent knocking out Drapion. Cobra hung on with 4 HP to kill Electros, as well as one-shot Seismitoad. His last 2 Mons were Toxicroak and Hydreigon, but both of them really didn't stand a chance. Right before exiting Victory Road, Hugh wanted to prove himself one more time. This fight was filled with many Okos, as Bouffalant, Simipour, and Unfazant all went down in one hit. Embor was the only Mon that was a challenge, but nothing that Scolipede couldn't handle. I forgot to record footage of my team before the Elite Four, so I had to do it afterwards, but everyone looks the same, so just ignore the levels. I'm pretty happy with the team diversity, as we have some Pokemon that probably aren't used too much when people play through these games. Anyways, it's time to take down the Elite Four. Chantal and Grimsley were basically a joke. The combination of Liepard's Night Slash and the Scope Lens absolutely wrecked Chantal's team. It wasn't until Drifblim when Jelly went down, but all Cofagrigus had to do was hit her with a Shadow Ball to win the battle. As for Grimsley, his team got swept by Drain Punch, and Mienshao ended the fight with full HP. The Caitlyn battle started off easy, as a Lipard knocked out Musharna, Facebook dealt with Reuniclus, and Electros killed Sigilif. I thought Scolipede could take a hit from Gothitelle, but one Psychic destroyed his health. Because of the X-Scissor we got off though, it didn't take too much for Cofagrigus to come in and finish the job. Marshall was by far the toughest member of the Elite Four. I used a Toxic and then Venoshock with 50%, so throw went down without too many issues. Conkeldurr got burned, but he still managed to kill Facebook, so Electros had to help out with the Thunderbolt. Mienshao couldn't take a few Leaf Blades, so last out was Sock, who went down to a couple of Thunderbolts. It was now time to battle Iris and attempt to take over the champion spot. Dojo Cat's Drain Punch did a lot of damage to Hydreigon, allowing him to become almost fully healed before Druddigon came out. I forgot that he knew Flamethrower, so Scolipede went down, but 2 Shadow Balls from Cofagrigus did the trick. Aggron surprisingly didn't have Sturdy, so he got one shot, and so did Archeops. Her last 2 team members were Haxorus and Lapras, and with some help from Lipard, Mienshao was able to knock both of them out, crowning us as the new champions of the Unova region. And there you have it. We have now beaten Pokemon Black 2 the Marriland way. I think this walkthrough contained a bit more notable things than the Pokemon Blue one, but still not as much as Marriland's Pokemon Heart Gold guide. Nonetheless, I enjoyed playing through these games once again, while using many Pokemon that I've never gotten the chance to use before. I was thinking about doing the post-game, but I've decided to hold that off for another video that will sort of branch off from this one, so be on the lookout for that in the near future. For now though, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell to see more. And until next time, deuces!